Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker here with another tea to look at together. Sometimes a tea, I'm going to have to take this out, teas, in order to preserve their freshness when they're in their packaging, you may get a little freshener there that absorbs the oxygen, keeps it, helps that tea last longer. From what I understand, the best I understand is once you open the package and you're allowing oxygen to flow in and out of that package, it's not going to do much good to leave it in there after that. You're better off just kind of sealing your tea, using it in a timely manner. I want to close this for a moment though and set it aside. My water's been brought to an early boil. I'm adding it to my 3-ounce gaiwan. I've added enough tea to cover the bottom inch to inch and a half diameter there. And I want enough water here to rest just above the rim of the lid, like so. Looks good. Get this tea kettle out of the way and introduce this tea. This is from Yezi Tea Company. This is their YiFuChun. It's a black tea. You can get 1 ounce for $13.95. This is, and the origin information about this on the product page. This is from the Nanhu mountain area, Fuqing City in Fujian province of China. It's described as organic, as if not necessarily certified organic. I didn't see any indications of organic certification, but organic processes being used. The farmer, you can also find information about the particular farmer, grower slash processor. His name is Huang Jian. And so you can find information about who's growing your tea, where it's grown, from Yezi Tea. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this tea, the aspects of the dry leaf, the wet leaf, and the liquor now. Starting off here with the dry. Give a shake here. Sweet notes, caramel coming out, kind of a roasty, kind of a, a nice warm caramel, a bit of a cocoa powder in there as well. Just got kind of a chocolatey, kind of a malty type of note too. Those are the dominant components. You might get a little bit of like a toasty raisin bran element there as well. Raisins with bran flakes. Scooping out a few of these leaves and having a look at those. And you're going to notice, let me get just a few more. Dig in here more deeply. Loosen these up some. That looks good. Now, first thing I note is a good portion of yellow or golden color buds, needles here. So these are generally fine, small leaves, say less than 1 inch in length in many cases here. Lots of golden color, indicating that these are younger buds that are here compared to some of the more mature leaves. So the size, the color gives good indication already. The ones that aren't golden, I'd say the golden ones make up, just at a glance here, 10 to 20%. And the other is a nice bister brown, deep dark brown, gray, over towards almost black type of color there. So yeah, that gives us a starting indication about this tea. Okay, Fujian province has Tanyang or Tongo, Panyang Tongo, sometimes Tanyang Gongfu tea. So there's a tradition of black teas in Fujian province. I'm going to go and get to the liquor now, pour it rather, and then talk about the wet leaf. So I'm going to angle my lid on my gaiwan over to the side, pour, give it a little shake, get those last few drops out, and be able to look at this wet leaf now. Let a shake, let those leaves kind of settle back down to the bottom. Malty notes. Still some of the cocoa powder, moving more towards a grape, or rather a raisin, more of a note, more of a sweet raisin, baked raisin type of note. So the malty is coming out a bit more now as well. less of the cocoa, less of the caramel, but there is a nice kind of toasty aspect. Sweet toasty, sweet heat caramelized kind of aspect there. So those are positive. Let me clear off this lid and look at a few of these leaves here. Drop those back in and pull out for an example here of what was an individual leaf here. Yeah, it's intact. I was going to say this was a golden needle, but can't be certain of that. This was very recently, just off of the tip of the needle there. The leaf, as the leaves branches sprout out, a leaf unfolds, the needle grows out a little bit further, another leaf comes off of this side, and so on. Let me pull out a few more like this one. Still not unfurled, nice, tender, delicate, small there. Leaves have lightened up some. They're more towards a reddish brown now. Fairly even, consistent oxidation or coloring on these leaves here, not blotchy. For the most part, intact leaves. Maybe a little bit, damaged edge here and there. Maybe a little tip of a leaf broken off here and there. But for the most part, good condition of leaves here. Pull out just a couple of more. There, you can kind of tease these open and flat, but they've still got a pretty good amount of curl to them, as if indicating that that they would perhaps after a subsequent steep unfurl, flatten out a little bit more. So that means that there's more potential to have subsequent steeps with equal or significant intensity of character there. So I'm going to set that to the side now and get to the liquor. Move this over to the side just a little bit. Hold this up to the light, and you have a nice, deeper, browner, redder than say copper. A nice bright color, not a purplish color, more closer to a maple syrup or a molasses type of color there. Give it a pour. Malty element coming off is the primary. You still get some sweet raisiny type notes there. Okay, looks good in the cup as well. Nice clear, good even brightness there. Not murky, not cloudy. Gentle. Didn't get a strong, or it didn't get an initial pop of astringency or bitterness. Character or flavors, aromas were fairly subdued. There wasn't a harsh, rich, overbearing pop of character, of flavor at the front. I'm going to let this tea cool a little bit. Good texture. It's got a silken element to it. So it's, like I said, it's not necessarily harshly astringent, but it does have a kind of a drying sensation that is soft, that's mild, that gives a kind of, again, a gentle, fluffy kind of coating on the top of the tongue and inside lower part of the cheek and jaw area here. Let me give it another sip now as this kind of cools. As I swish it around, not so much in the front, but in the middle, as I'm swirling it, you get it more. You get the malty character picking up more so now. It was there, but it's picking up more now. You get a bit of the raisiny note there. Maybe a little bit of that, like I said, that raisin bran, that bran flake element there too. And the back, the raisiny bran flake and the malty. Maybe the malty just a little bit stronger than the other there. That's in the back. That's in the back of my mouth, underneath the back of my tongue, building up a kind of a gentle, light, again, toasted bran flake type of sensation, sweetness even, a little bit of just having finished a bite of raisin bran in the morning. That's what's going on there. Fairly sustained, still going, still carrying through. It's not dropping off. It's not the most, it's not just exerting too much pressure or too much presence. It's there, it's comfortable, and it's sustained. Let me give one more shot here as it's cooled off just a little more. Yeah, some of the tart. There's a little bit more of a tart fruit element, tart grape coming out now, and it's getting more towards the front as this tea cools. It's a nice variation of taste and character going on here. So this is a tea that's not one that if you're used to kind of excessively bold black teas, this is not one that you're going to be looking for. But if you like to kind of sit back, appreciate more nuance, allow the flavors to kind of build or to settle into your mouth, this is a tea, black tea, that you'd be pleased with. Looking at this tea as a whole compared to other black teas, yeah, I like there's a good refinement here to it. It's not just off balance. It's not excessive and overpronounced. I would give this one a 90. I've had some black teas, Fujian black teas, a little bit smoother, a bit more silken in the character. But this one's quite nice. So come back to Walker Tea Review to find the teas that have that mix, that element of character, taste, flavor, all those components that you're looking for.